Okay. Hey y'all, back out here in the garage again, of course. This time we are working on the Avenger again. The exhaust manifold, I'll bring you up to date. The exhaust manifold went right back on, uh, bolts right back up, and it's been working fantastic. Nice and quiet. Hasn't been leaking exhaust gases and fumes into the cab of the vehicle from time to time. And but now we're tackling another problem. The radiator hasn't been working very well. We've already got the old one out. We're putting the new one in, and if my camera woman will show right down here, these bolts right down here. Can you see them there on the camera? Yeah. You see that there's a bolt down there. There's one on each side of this AC condenser. This bolts the AC condenser to the radiator. It's 10 millimeter head, and there's two of them down there. If you don't take them out, you cannot get this thing out. So it's very important. Now the grill assembly, very simple, very straightforward. I mean, once you get the plastic clips out, it just lifts out. There's rubber feet on the top of the radiator. I call them feet. They're just insulators, isolators, whatever. It just isolates the radiator from vibration. Are you, is it on me or, okay. All right, so anyway, I'm working with a camera operator today, so this is unusual for me. I'm usually doing this solo. So I'll go ahead and tighten up these bolts here for the radiator. Now, let me make something clear. These bolts go into like these sheet metal clips. It's very important not to over tighten them, okay? I mean, it doesn't take a lot of torque anyway on them, all right? I mean, it's just holding this, I almost sneezed. Just holds the AC condenser to the radiator. That's all it does. So it's not that big a deal. And, you know, you don't have to, it doesn't have to go like 900 foot-pounds or something crazy, something like that. Now these are difficult to get to. I would recommend, if you don't have air tools, and a lot of us don't, I do realize that very well. If you don't have air tools, that's fine. Use a ratchet. Most likely use like a 3/8 ratchet and a 10 millimeter socket, break them loose, then go back with like a 1/4 inch drive socket, or ratchet, sorry, and an accompanying 10 millimeter socket, and then you can get them loose the rest of the way. Once you have those done, then you can go ahead and put the whole assembly up here and get it lined up. Get these feet here. Okay, Samantha. If we got the feet in there correctly. We had them upside down. That's another thing. These little, I call them feet. They're just insulators. They just mount the radiator and allow the radiator to move around a little bit. But they go one way. So if you get them wrong, they won't go. So, very important. But, yeah. Let's see. Is this one? No, this one's upside down too. But yes, you've got to get these things right side up where they won't go into place. Very important. So, let's see, here we go. Samantha, we forgot to put the condenser on those clips. There's a couple of little clips that the condenser just slides down onto, and we've completely messed up. Forgot about it. We're trying to do this kind of quickly. We've got the car needs to be ready to go tomorrow, and got that side loose. Be sure to keep up with all your hardware, okay? I mean, I don't care what you use. You know, this is very low tech. It's not a magnet fan or nothing. It's just a little plastic bowl that we have laying around here. So. Okay. Oh yeah, that'll work. That side doesn't need the clip, but this side does. So, okay, well, that's what happens sometimes when you run across some of this stuff. Is that you get these radiators from some people, you know, some companies, they don't fit as well as they do like factory stuff does. But when the factory stuff's plugged up and it's been giving you trouble, it's time to replace. Move on. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's see. Why don't we pause it? Okay, y'all. As you can see, we've got the radiator the rest of the way in there. One thing to be aware of, and it sounds like I'm being attacked out there by the Air National Guard. Okay, never a dull, boring moment here. Anyway, there is these two screws. They go down into these two screws. They go down into these little holders here, and a holder has a tab. These holders only go one way, so be sure to put it in the correct way. The fan will go either way. The fan assembly will. You don't have to disconnect it completely from the harness, but you do have to take some of the harness loose from it to get it out of the way. Can you please take over on that? Thank you. The fan assembly can be a real difficulty, so please, please, please. And it is not marked either. The fan assembly is not marked, so do yourself a huge favor. Mark the fan assembly before you put the fan in, okay? Or before you even take it out. Just mark it with something. You know, it doesn't matter what. Just something you can see real easily. So, furthermore, it's been our experience that these engines have a tendency to be difficult to bleed the cooling system. If that is the case, do what I'm doing right now, which is put the car nose up in the air. Right now I've got the car on ramps. You can put it up on jack stands. You can park it on a hill, a steep incline or a hill where the front end is pointing uphill. You pour the coolant in, the air bubbles lots of times will run up here to this radiator fill port here in the hose. So that is important. Also, this is plastic. Be careful with this. Do not get too rough. Matter of fact, most everything in here you see is plastic. So, also, these several bars here are your transmission cooler. The rest of this is your AC condenser. So, just something to keep in mind. And another little tidbit. Go through this every so often and clean this out. If you can go and take a water hose and blast this out, pressure washer, not too much, and blast this out. You know, don't get the pressure washer going this way, the water going this way. Come at it straight ahead. That way you don't fold any of these little cooling fins over. But we're going to carry on here. Me and Samantha are, and then we're going to get this assembly tied back down and hooked back up. Just got to hook up your AIT sensor, and then once we get it all hooked back up, we're going to start it up, and we're going to bleed the cooling system. We're going to let the engine run. Be sure when you're doing that, have your heater on, have the cooling system circulating. Okay, that is important. So, all right, that's pretty much all I have got for you on this. So anyway, yeah, be sure to get all your hose clamps tight. If you're still using the spring clamps, be really, really careful. They can be really deadly. If they slip, if your pliers slip or something like that, they do make special pliers for them things. I don't have any. I just always use like channel locks or vice grips or something like that. But if your pliers can slip on those, and when they do, they can fly out and they can hit you in the face, eyes. I mean, they can be deadly. They're a big spring, so they can be really dangerous. Okay. All right, we're going to carry on here, and so if you have any questions, comments, ideas, anything, please put them down below. Okay, I'll be more than happy to get to you, answer your questions, any questions you got about this or any other project you've seen in here. Oh, let's go over here to the carburetor. I've done a little bit of work to the carburetor, but not a great deal. This is not a hard carburetor put together, by the way. I've just not been able to find time to do much to it. Now early this morning, I come out here, I put this bottom plate on. It's just 4 screws. You can see the oil from the gasket, the new gasket that went on. Then, of course, we have this Venturi assembly that went on. 2 screws right there, 2 small Phillips heads. There's about like 3 or 4 different sizes of screws in this thing. They only go, some of them only go in one place, so it's not that difficult. Okay, it's really, really not. Now, adjusting this and checking the adjustment on this float is going to be your key element that will separate you from just somebody that's just tinkering. Okay, when you get that thing set in there, that will be, you get your float level set, you get your idle set, and you get your idle mixture screws set right there. Then you will be really doing something really good. So, okay, that's it for now. So thank you all very much, and God bless. And Samantha, say bye.
Bye.
See y'all.